Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Rostermania chaos continues to go down behind the scenes. Scrappy roasting a fair few players on the challenger side that might be looking to get back into the league. Some questions as well on iLLeY. Various other topics to dive into today. Very much into your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate. As I say, plenty to get through. These are the cards, the lineman cards for Atlanta FaZe. Not exactly what I would have expected going into the tournament, of course, with Simp being the MVP of the season. But this is the scary thing about FaZe, right? Because Simp and Drazah, really, I would say, were FaZe's two best players over the last couple of months. They turn up to this tournament. aBeZy has a fantastic tournament. There's not so much for Simp to even do. And Cellium drops a 1.38 over the course of the tournament as well. Look, he still didn't have crazy high kills per 10, damage per 10 or whatever. But it was still pretty damn good. And you can see here that in terms of damage per 10 for Cellium, it was higher than Drazah in every single game mode. Kills per 10 were pretty similar and substantially higher in the control. So, you know, that's not been the case recently. So you could see the pace differential. And even we see here from Cell, more damage per 10 than aBeZy had. More damage per 10 than Simp had. Like, you know, that's not numbers we've seen from Cellium, right, over, you know, on this team for a long time now. So, you know, no doubt he was the MVP for me. I think, honestly, the way that aBeZy started the tournament, he would have been pretty sure that he was getting the MVP if they won it after day 1 or 2. And then Cellium just kind of went nuclear for the rest of the weekend. There's also questions on which organisations may or may not come in. This is what Lando Norris, of course, you know, Formula 1 driver, owner of Quadrant Esports, said a couple of years ago now on eventually looking to get involved in the Call of Duty League. So Clay, of course, in the reply saying, hey, now's the time, right? If there's any opportunity to get into the league, there's organisations still like Boston out there, Ravens, Gorillas. We've obviously heard talks about the likes of Gen G and Fnatic, and maybe Quadrant could come into the mix as well. There's also two other organisations, Team Liquid and Space Station Gaming, and also TSM. So it is a remarkable spot for COD to be in, and it shows the strength of the scene on some level, right? Especially compared to many other esports, I would say, especially North America. That's one of the key strengths of COD. Really strong base in North America, not the case for too many other esports, really. That's obviously good for various reasons. Advertisers, they like it, stuff like this. Also, the strength of the scene from a community perspective, the entertainment value of the players, like the brand value that many of the players have. Like, there's lots of reasons why COD isn't attractive esport compared to many others out there, even though it's not an S tier esport. You could even argue it's not an A tier esport. Like, the game isn't great, the league isn't great. There's so many problems, right? We talk about it all the time. But from like an overall overarching esports perspective, COD does have its real strengths, and that is worth appreciating. The fact that there are like 6 organizations right now looking to get into Call of Duty, and there are simply not enough sellers to actually go around. So, you know, Liquid, Space Station, Fnatic, Gen G, TSM, potentially, you know, of course, Falcons have just come in, maybe Quadrant, who knows? So it's pretty exciting, and we'll see which other organizations might get out of here as well, because, you know, it seems to me that many of the poverty orgs, if not all of them, are going to go now. This, of course, tweet from the rotation was saying, look, Falcons is a done deal announcement soon. And, well, we saw the announcement last night and we discussed it earlier on today. This is one of the ways that it could go in terms of, you know, a 16-team league situation with 9 of the teams that we currently have and then some additional ones from outside of the league as it stands. If we had FaZe, Boston, 100 Thieves, Heretics, G2, Cloud9, Ultra, OpTic and Surge, that's a pretty good selection of the current lot. No poverty orgs remaining in there. Even Boston, if you want to consider them that, and Heretics, I don't know, you can debate on that one, but of course they've got the Spanish stuff, and Falcons have the Saudi Arabian stuff, and I think that, you know, many people wouldn't have complained so much about the Falcons and the Heretics situation if we'd have gone to 16 teams this year. And there is probably the space to do it. Gentle Mates might be interested too. Gutaga's organisation, they fielded a roster at the World Cup. They, of course, could get involved. TSM, SSG, Fnatic, Gen G, Liquid, maybe others as well. So, you know, I think this would be a really nice situation for the league. And as easyMac goes on to say, this is kind of like his wish list for next season. I think there will be relatively substantial changes to next year's CDL format. I don't really know what they're going to change and what that's going to look like. I'm hoping there are changes at least, but I don't know if I'm necessarily betting on it. And as easyMac says, a 16-team league, return to the Black Ops 4 format, and 16 is I still think the best number, just because it works so well, it's a power of 2, you can split it up in multiple ways, like it works better for groups and for bracket play and all this type of stuff. He reckons Black Ops 4 format should return, online tourneys to fill the gaps between the tournaments, no round robin, do GSL style instead, as we had here, you know, win 2 before you lose 2 back at the World Cup in Riyadh. If you've got single limb, make it best of 7, league sanctioned preseason S&D tournaments, oh my god, like now we really are talking. Esports always got great ideas around this type of stuff. Couple of free agency announcements as well. Super unrestricted FA for the 2025 CDL season. Very exciting prospect. He's been around a few years at this point. A player who has dropped unbelievable numbers in last year's challenges. Like his numbers in last year's challenges, similar to Scrappy in Vanguard, similar to aBeZy in Modern Warfare 2. So there is a prospect there, and I think his English is reasonable enough. Personally, if I'm Miami Heretics, I'm saying, look, lucky, it's been a good ride, but it's time to go. We're bringing Super into the team instead, possibly looking at bringing Rencor into the team as well. And yes, there is like drama and politics in the Spanish scene, and the guys don't all get on, but, you know, I'd just force them to do some sort of, I don't know, escape room together or something, and do as many as it takes for them to build up some chemistry. I don't know, because I think if you are Heretics and you are going to be a Spanish team, if you want to be successful, you just have to put the best 4 Spanish players in your team. And currently they don't have that, in my opinion. And Super is one of them. So I think it'd be cool to see him in the league. Vivid as well, looking for a return here for Black Ops 6. Of course, he was in the league this season. Again, it's just strange what happens with Vivid on his teams, isn't it? Like, he's clearly very good, and he joins these rosters, and for some reason he just ends up getting dropped. I don't really know why, because the team very, very rarely gets better without him, and I think he'll get a spot for next year. There's only too many SMG players that have upside and talent and impact that are even around in the league. Vivid, I think, is one of them. So, yeah, as he says, interesting year for myself, but I've never been more confident before. Any teams or players looking to build, hit me up. So I'm sure Vivid is going to get hit up by someone. This is Marky B as well, who coached the Gentlemates team at the World Cup. He's looking to get back involved. So, wish him Mark the best to get back to a spot. We saw the other day that Exposed said, hey, Mark, I know that you might not be able to afford to run this anymore if you have to coach in challenges, but I'll cover your kind of wages, or I'll cover your living expenses for the year so you can continue to do it. So that's really cool, and who knows, maybe he's going to get an opportunity in the league itself, in one of the official CDL teams. And this is the type of stuff that Clayster is talking about, right? Because there's new organizations coming into play. Of course, we've seen what happened with the Falcons, we've seen what happened with SSG maybe, or Liquid, or Fnatic, or Gen G, or whatever the case is. And Clayster's saying, hey, maybe I'd be interested in a potential return. Looks like I'll be needing some new contact info to make a few calls. So Clay is making it pretty clear that a return, at least staying in the league, #Stayster, is on the cards for Clay, and I'd like to see it. If Clay doesn't get an offer and it doesn't necessarily go to plan, then he will, I'm pretty sure, have a spot on the desk if he wants it. I think that he's obviously done a stellar job on there, and I think they would have him back if he wants to do that, and it would make sense. But Clay, his heart is still clearly for now in competing, which is perfectly fair, and I'm happy to see it. Like, I don't ever really want a player to retire before they're sure they're ready to retire. Every player, after they've retired, they will miss it on some level. Like even Octane, who probably made a very wise decision with where he was in his career and his life and what he wanted to do, and moving, and the stresses of scrims, and also feeling that he was letting the team down on some level by not being 100% committed, stuff like this. Even Octane, who made that decision, it was a challenging one and probably the correct one, and I'm sure he doesn't regret it, but whenever Octane goes to an event and sees the crowd and sees the guys walking on the main stage, he's always going to miss it, right? And all the players are going to miss it always. So, you've got to be convinced, I think, that you're done if you are going to step away, and I'm sure Clay feels the same as well. Couple of clips to share with you guys, one of which was pretty interesting here from Ben J. Nassim on the CDL situation, what happened with Falcons over the last few years, the lawyers that were coming into play, and also talking about some rumours about next year's CDL season. Of course, we're not really having any of the information or updates on that yet. It's going to happen over the coming months when they say, okay, the first event is here, the second event is there, champs to be determined, which is what they always do. And look, we've got Falcons coming into the league now. Are they going to try and host a tournament? I think that'd be cool to see. Are they going to host a tournament in Vegas? Probably not. So, I don't know, but we'll see what time says. And even Toronto said last year that they might host an event in London or something, but that seems a bit of a long shot.
They've gotten more momentum towards getting people around to crowdfunding, which is a thing we should have had fucking 8 years ago. A lot of people behind the scenes on the team side are working night in, day out to try and make that shit happen because it's great for them economically and it's great for the company, the publisher economically. But like, you know, shit, it still hasn't happened yet. So I'm waiting.
So if it benefits everyone, why is it not?
Why haven't we done it yet? Because of lawyers, I would assume. Fucking lawyers.
It's always lawyers.
Always fucking lawyers, bro. Tiss asking my chat, what are the odds one or some of these new teams host an event? Well, Falcons coming in, I would say there's a decent chance. I think the one thing I'll tell you, chat, to look out for is whenever the new DreamHack 2025 schedule comes out, because every rumor I've heard from the team side and other sides is that we won't be surprised if we're at some DreamHack or one DreamHack or multiple DreamHacks next year. I thought it was going to happen.
Till this day, I think Ender's the best S&D player I've ever seen.
Really?
Till this day, I've never seen somebody that smart, that ahead. He would tell me shit 5 He's like, minute, listen. Trust me, this might sound rogue. Snipe right down mid. He's gonna shoulder peek bottom mid. Like even like I'm in the middle of the open, just sniping. Like I could scam this 5-5. I gotta pick. I look like a hero. I'm like, oh my god, Ender is actually him. What the fuck?
He just gets like calm assists.
Yeah.
Those are the things that don't show up on the stat sheet.
No, I'm telling you, he is by far,
X Factor shit.
He's the best S&D player I've ever seen.
Really?
No lie.
Been also saying though that maybe, I think last year, DreamHack Atlanta was rumoured to be the first event of the season. They were going to run the COD League alongside the DreamHack there in Atlanta, which I think they run like November, December time, which probably would work again for this year if it's on again at the same time that it was before. Otherwise, could be another DreamHack on the cards potentially as well. This was pretty funny here from Scrappy. There's this, Ksun says, free agent, Call of Duty, challenges players. If you're one of those for Black Ops 6, comment below, DM me. So apparently Ksun's got some plans to run some sort of tournament here, and apparently people are saying it's pretty exciting what he's up to here. So I guess time will tell on that one. But as Scrappy says, good opportunity this for some terrible players. So yeah, this guy's too funny. There's also some other names that have been going around the Rostermania period. One of them especially being iLLeY. I actually saw some interesting discussion today on the Reddit, which was, well, it's a difficult conversation to have, but it's most wasted potential player in Call of Duty history. There's a few that come to mind. Dylan Cods, unfortunately, is certainly one of them. Miracles is another legendary player, one of the best SMGs ever. And, of course, the general feeling is that because he stuck with his circle for longer than he should have done, didn't achieve the success that he could have had. Even as unfortunate as it is, Pharaoh, rest in peace, probably falls into this category with how good he was before he passed away. And then iLLeY is the other one, really, right? Because the difficult thing is that for iLLeY and for, let's say, as I said, Miracles, they're both world champions. They both won multiple events. But for iLLeY, given that when he came up in the scene, he was considered a Simp, a Cellium, a Dashy. Even I would say iLLeY, when he came into the scene, was more hyped than Simp was. It was 1A, 1B. It was very close, I would say. And obviously when he came in, he won the World Championship online, but he won the World Championship one events. But yeah, you just got to think that the way that iLLeY's career has gone, it's absolutely wasted potential. Even though he's still achieved a lot, there's, still, I hope, more to come from iLLeY, right? And he's obviously made it clear that he's going to return again this season. I think that somebody's going to give him an opportunity with any luck. And even Dashy said a while ago now on the Around the Bar podcast, to this day, I think iLLeY's the best search and destroy player that I've ever seen. So, premium gas, I'm not going to lie. And, with any luck, he's going to be back in business in the upcoming season. But very much interested your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.
Well, if this is the pro team, this is risk, bro. These guys have a lot. These guys have a lot to learn, bro.
Holy shit.
This Luti photo is so funny.
Well, four NA players just lost fucking composure. I mean, they're gonna get a good amount of reps in before. I mean, they're gonna be in NA. I mean, those guys are talented. I mean, they're obviously like they were shooting. They just didn't really have reps against good teams to actually compete with the good teams yet. I'm surprised, to be honest. I thought they'd field two teams, to be honest. I thought they'd have a pro team and an academy team and let these guys develop more, but
I can only see this now. The boys waking up. The boys having to wake up, play Miami. They're all losing full. You wake up and you're scrimming. These guys. This is crazy, dude.